Okay, welcome to episode 2. This is my classmate, very close friend of mine. Introduce yourself, man.
Hey, so I'm Ragul. I am from Sri Lanka. Ronnie and I have been studying together for about an year now, almost. And I've only moved to Malaysia last December. And this is, well, I guess we'll get to know more about each other as we go along.
Yeah. Welcome, man. Welcome.
Thanks,
Shit,
Ronnie.
man.
Thanks for
Yeah.
having me.
I honestly would have never. I would have never expected us to like sit down and just talk things
Yeah,
over
true.
a podcast, like a damn podcast. Especially us meeting, like in February. We met in February.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, but you're a semester older than me.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. So, explain yourself more, man, to like the people back home.
Okay. I love music. I am not someone who is worried about things technically, but I go based on emotions. I go based on what I feel. I go based on experiences. I go based on, I basically love interacting with people. And not to say that I'm an extrovert, but I think I'm more of an ambivert. So, like, I enjoy my moments with people, but there are also times that I burn out. I like to be by myself, but I enjoy experiences with people. I enjoy experiences in new
What do
places.
you mean by experiences?
This right
like
now
this.
is, it's new for us in our friendship.
Yeah,
And
very new for me especially because I'm
So-
the one who's like starting all this.
So right now I've just come in the middle of a very late working day because I needed to clear my head. I figured this was something that's different. It's something that I want to experience, like I said. And I felt like it would be fun. And it's something that you and I will look back at
Yeah,
and talk about for some time.
yes, agreed.
So here we are.
What's life back home at Sri Lanka, if you don't mind explaining?
Yeah, I wish it was better. It's a beautiful country. I've always, and this is the funny part. If you spoke to me exactly this time, maybe a year or two ago, maybe 2 years ago, I would be the person who tells you, I am never going to leave this country. And then 1 year later, I did. And we started facing some economic issues right after COVID. They were things that we should have expected to happen. Of course, everyone knows about it. So Sri Lanka's economic crisis really crippled a lot of people. It changed life for all of us. And I started looking for options to move out. But if I were to not consider anything that's happened in our country in the last 2 years, I would say it was always, for me at least, a beautiful place to live in. Sadly, it's always had its challenges. It went through a 30-year civil war. It's gone through so much tensions. It's gone through a lot of instability. But if you asked anyone around the world who's been to Sri Lanka, I guarantee you they will say that they would love to just go again. And I really do miss it. I really miss home. But I had to, after so much pondering and trying to figure out what exactly is best for me, I had to figure that maybe moving out is what's best for me. So that was a bit sad. I am
But-
still exploring.
But since coming to Malaysia, like, do you find this country, like, do you find the similarities? Do you find a lot of similarities?
Lots.
In terms of culture, in terms of people, like do you find a lot of similarities?
In terms of culture and people, I think there are similarities, but it's also like saying apples and oranges are fruits.
Ah, yeah.
Um, to mean that if you look at Asia, it's
Yes.
always culturally rich
Yes.
compared to the West. And Malaysia and Sri Lanka have that richness in different ways. If you looked at the Tamil community,
Mm.
traditions are rich.
Yes.
But those traditions are rich in very different ways. Like, I celebrated Deepavali last weekend.
Mm.
It was very different and festive.
How is it different compared to how you celebrate in Sri Lanka?
Um, See, the
Food?
similarities are prayers.
Mm.
Similarities are the traditions of family, and all of the food, the goodies and sweetmeats that you enjoy. Um, the difference was the celebration in terms of the festival. I found it a lot more exciting and intense in Malaysia. And it was very different. Like, everyone was in this party vibe. Like, you hear firecrackers going all around all night if you're in
Yeah, yeah,
PJ, if you're in Little India, if you're anywhere in these areas.
yeah.
At least what I've seen, I've not uh, really seen it anywhere else this time.
Yeah.
Throughout the weekend, the celebration was amazing. And then one thing I saw here, I saw so many people take time off work, not just that weekend, like for a whole week.
Mm.
And it surprised me that they didn't go anywhere. They just stayed at home,
Yeah.
spent time with their families, got their chores, their duties done. They had to fix something with the house, they fixed something with the house. And it was different. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I've never seen that before.
Oh, wow. Did you not like do that in Sri
No,
Lanka?
this part of it where I saw that taking a block of days off from work on the week of Deepavali was very new to me. And
Wow.
I would assume, because it's not a long weekend either. You just get one public holiday.
Yes.
But
But for us, like college students, we have like a week off, like for maybe not all unis, but like some like
so
BAC.
so I guess Malaysia has embraced that as a culture worth celebrating, or
Yes.
where it's time to be with family.
Yes.
It's time to take a step back and just appreciate
Yes.
everything in your life. I saw that for the first time. It was very new. For us back in Sri Lanka, Deepavali is a one-day affair.
Oh, wow.
That's it. Maybe you get the day of work on that day. You take your family to the temple, you pray together, you stay together, you enjoy the day together, but it ends there in those 24 hours. So this was quite different.
Because it happens in like Chinese New Year and Hari Raya also, where
Yes.
where like Chinese New Year and Hari Raya, we tend to stay with our families and invite family members or whoever also, or like go to open houses and all, like to celebrate with people lah. Like essentially it's very domestic, like very in home celebrations and all, like, which is in a sense very good. But what I find interesting now is that there's getting very little of it now. I'm not sure for the Indian community now is less or not, but for the Chinese now is very little now, because everything is so busy. Everything is so people are so
Correct.
engulfed with work and all. Like people are just celebrating all these festivals and all less and less and less, and like I feel like the culture is just not giving a fuck about and just dying.
So that part is universal.
Actually, no, because like you see, like the Western, like no matter how like deadbeat like stressed they are, like they still have like find the time to like celebrate and go to all these festives and all, like be festive
Maybe
and
in the
all.
West, I think if you looked at maybe Thanksgiving or Christmas,
Yeah.
those holiday seasons are still quite intense. But I don't know. I've not experienced the Western culture
Mm.
in the West. But when I said universal, I started thinking back, and even in Sri Lanka, when I spoke about Deepavali, the festivity itself for our holidays, like the intensity of that festival, maybe not so much because life is so busy.
Yeah.
And I agree. But at least in the communities that I have seen here in Malaysia, I've noticed that everyone takes it to heart.
Mm.
And it's still very rich.
Mm.
It's still something that's a major priority
Mm.
for them. And they're taking like blocks of days off to be with their family.
Like when
And
we celebrate with our heart out. But when we don't, we just really don't give a fuck about
that's
it.
it.
Like there's no in between. Like it's either black or white. There's no gray.
That's it. So, um,
A bit closer.
yeah, I guess you're right because it's either or.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess. And traditions being kept up, I think it's also a generational thing. Like if I went to, so I am a Hindu
Mm.
by birth,
Mm.
but I'm not a religious person.
Mm.
I consider myself to be spiritual.
Mm.
If I went to the temple today with my parents,
But if you're spiritual, does that not mean you're religious? In a way?
let's come back to that. If I went to the temple today with my parents, they have a set of things that they will do and expect the priest to do, and they will follow it to the letter. I don't know the significance behind those rituals. I have not bothered to ask them. I would just follow them duly and be like, okay, I need to go with my parents. It's something we've done since I was a kid, and that's it. But I've never asked, why are you doing this particular thing? Or what is this particular action about? What is this particular ritual about? What does this prayer mean? And our generation doesn't have that at the forefront.
Doesn't have like what?
So this, if you looked at traditions and rituals, I feel like with each generation, their understanding of the significance
Of a religion, like of being
of,
religious.
being religious, or say it can, like if you were atheist, your family was atheist, but your family had certain things that they did strictly. Maybe the next generation wouldn't understand that, so they wouldn't follow it so strictly. Now for me, my family, at least my parents and myself, are vegetarian, but we eat egg.
Mm.
My dad will not touch it on Fridays. He will not touch it on Fridays. He will not touch it on Mondays and Tuesdays for religious reasons. For me, I don't believe in that. So I would tell him, if you say God is omnipresent, He's everywhere, then that means He is every day.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Kind of.
So it doesn't make sense to me that He would appreciate you not eating eggs on Fridays,
Mm.
but you're doing it
Eating
on
eggs
Saturday
every
anyway.
day. Eating eggs every day else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's so special about this day? I don't know the significance. I don't believe in it. I'm not going to follow it. I'm going to eat my eggs every day. And I know so many friends who do the same thing with non-vegetarian food, but they have something blocking them psychologically. When they actually have to go to the temple, they take a step back. As in, okay, I'm going to be vegetarian until I go to the temple. and then I'll come back after the temple, I'll eat non-veg. So there are things that hold them back purely out of conditioning, purely out of their beliefs, purely out of what they have learned since they were kids. But they don't know why. We don't know why we have to do certain things. So, what do you think is going to happen when we have kids? We tell them to follow this, but even we don't know why we're asking them to follow this. So,
Yeah.
are we going to ask them to follow this?
Yeah.
So, which is where I'm coming back to when you say that a lot of things in terms of culture is diminishing or reducing or getting lost.
Yes.
I think this is where it is. So, something to think about.
Yeah.
You were in Japan.
Yeah. For a good week.
I think we need to hear about this.
Yeah.
See? Experience.
Your mic, yeah, bring it closer. Yeah. I was there for a good week and most peaceful week of my life. Like,
How so?
let me tell you, some of the nicest people you ever meet. Nicest people
Okay.
you ever meet. Like, even when you're in the wrong, like, okay, I was in a shop where I was in a convenience shop and um, I was buying this I was buying some snacks with my girlfriend and this lady we were kind of blocking her. And in Malaysia, no one like we will be the one saying sorry. The lady was the one who said sorry. Like
Okay.
if you're there, you're wrong. The person will say sorry. Yeah, that's how nice they are. Like they are nice, but too nice to a fault at some point
Okay.
for their own good, you know. But like, let me tell you, like they are one of the nicest people on the planet, you know. Like the Japanese people, and their culture is so rich and so like they practice it to like they practice it so much to an extent where everywhere you go it's culture, you know. Like even the littlest thing you see is Japanese culture. They engrave it everywhere. So yeah, I truly had a fun time. I learned
So,
so much.
if I were to
I had a
ask,
good time.
what were your 3 greatest impressions of Japan?
Um really nice people. I love their culture, and I would say no traffic jam. Not once did I encounter a traffic jam. Not
Rush hour?
once. Nope. Okay,
So, Tokyo Drift was a lie.
no. Okay, yes, it was a lie.
No way.
No traffic jam. Okay. One reason why they have no traffic jam is because everyone there is heavily reliant on public transport. You
Okay.
can literally go to okay, the 8 days that me and my girl was there, we visited 17 places all through public transport and all through Google Maps, like a GPS. It just took us right where we needed to go, and it was so easy. All through their LRT lah, their subways and their buses.
So, did you ever go to a junction where you have like an intersection where
Yes, it was.
you have like hundreds and thousands of people just crossing at the same time in
Ah,
different
yeah,
directions?
yeah.
What was that like?
It was a bit nerve wracking, but it was so cool at the same time because it just shows that how people can find ways to adapt in a sense where in Malaysia,
So, there's no one jaywalking.
no. Okay, here's another thing, okay? In Malaysia, right, whether it's red or not, people will run across the road. Like people will sprint, people will jaywalk,
I mean,
whatever the fuck.
I would.
Literally, right? Okay, from here across the room, like okay, y'all don't know how small this room is. Okay, literally from here across this room, only Ragulan and I know how small this room is. If there was a red light stop right there, people would wait. People would actually wait, like to cross the road. When it's green, only they'll walk. That's how disciplined they are. As like like people like from a moral standpoint, you know.
Okay.
And let me tell you, the moment I come back here, it was like a nuclear bomb of reality that I had to deal with. Not just from like what I have to deal with from my daily life, but realizing like, oh shit, it's like a totally different world, you know.
How expensive was Japan for you?
Oh yeah, no, their standard of living was off the charts, like off the roof.
So
Um,
going from a Malaysian
like
life to a week in
a
Japan.
rice dish here you find from like any stall, right? Like here in Malaysia, a rice dish you'll find is probably like 12, 13 ringgit. Any random like street food restaurant that you walk into, a plate of rice with like maybe a meat and a bit of curry and all, 25 ringgit.
Oh boy. Okay.
Their standard of living is off the roof.
Okay.
It's nice to go on holiday, but it's not nice to live there. That's
Are
what
you
I'll tell
sure?
you. Yes.
What if you were earning there?
It depends what you're working also.
Okay.
You can't just simply say that, oh my god, I want to live in Japan. Yeah, go try it, mate. Because okay, even if you're living there, you'll probably be living in like the smallest of apartments. Why do you think why do you think like people there want to always move out to like to the western side, or like they want to go to they want to be so westernized and all? Like why do you think they want to move out and all? Like why do you think the Asians want to go to England, to UK and all? And then the people from the west want to come here and all. It's like two different things, man.
So is it something like Singapore
In what sense?
in terms of standard of living, cost of living, and
Um, Actually, living in Singapore is really good. I have relatives who are Singaporeans, but I fucking hate them. They're all rich, spoiled kids, you know.
oh boy.
My cousins and all. I don't care. I don't
Moving
care.
on.
Okay. I've been meaning to ask you this.
Ah.
Have you dealt with racism here? Okay, what I would classify racism is,
Tell me.
there's two types of racism. One is intentional racism and unintentional racism.
Okay.
Unintentional racism is like, if I've never seen someone with dark skin my whole life, or like darker skin than me my whole life, and I've just seen them like right now, I'll be like, oh wow, your skin is darker than me and all. Like it's like unintentional. Like you have like you have no knowledge of it.
So I think so far,
The intentional one is like hate, you know, like oh I hate black people, I hate, you know, white people and all. Like that's intentional.
I think no,
Oh wow.
because
Even friends that I've known that lived here
outside
have
of
dealt with
college,
the most racist shit ever.
outside of college, I actually hang out with a lot of Indian folk. So I've not been so exposed to, and at college, like everyone for me has been fantastic, right? So I've never felt discriminated upon because where we are is very mixed.
Because you have to, okay, I don't know if you know this, but like Singapore and Malaysia, like we are two of like the most racist Asian countries like in the whole of Asia.
I've heard. I've not yet experienced.
Because some of my Indian friends, like they've dealt with like the most racist shit ever,
Okay.
like through their own people, obviously.
So, okay, I'll tell you. Let me tell you. The easiest place that I can tell you where it's possible to be discriminated upon is when you interact with police.
Yes.
But I've had two interactions. One in Malaysia, the other in
Discrimination.
Singapore. No, just experiences with cops.
Oh, okay.
Just run into cops. And I think they were two of the most pleasant interactions in my life.
Wow.
And in Malaysia specifically, it was a Malay individual who I interacted with. And so I was actually idling on the side of the road in the middle of the night in a friend's car. And I didn't realize because he and I were switching seats. He wanted me to drive, so we were switching seats. And in that instance, it was an empty street, but it was just opposite college. And a cop car just pulled up, lights flashing. So
Were you like,
I-
oh shit?
So I thought he wanted me to move from the place.
Oh, okay.
Right? He pulled up beside me, and I took the car, and then it almost turned into Need for Speed.
Oh,
Thankfully, the minute I budged forward, he just went wham right in front of me and did like a very hard brake. So I stopped. I realized, oh, he doesn't want me to go. He wants to question me. So I switched on the light. I showed him my face. The guy on the left-hand side who wasn't driving got out of the car. And he spoke to me like, what's going on? I was like, no, sorry, we were just switching seats. And then what's going on? What is? I was like, no, I'm from college here. This is what was happening. And then he was so nice in explaining to me, saying, look, when I flash my lights at you, I expect you to be there so I can talk to you. The minute you try to take your car, you make me think you're doing something wrong. He didn't have to give me all of those explanations. He just had to either reprimand me or tell me to just get lost. It
oh,
was
10
the-
years ago, you had been beaten up and arrested and put in jail for like 2 years.
I don't know.
No. I'm telling you right now, 10 years ago. Yeah,
So-
that's how bad and racist our cops were.
And he was so courteous. And he said, just make sure that you don't do that again. It's fine. Like, go. It seems like an innocent mistake. That's it. That was the end of that interaction. In Singapore, I went out drinking with a few friends. And apparently, vaping in Singapore is illegal.
Yes, recently.
Okay. So there were about 2 or 3 vapes on the table we were seated at. And
How do you even get them there?
I don't know.
No, I think
I
you're
didn't
allowed
get
to
them there.
vape indoors, but not outdoors.
I didn't get the vapes there, but there were 1 or 2 people who had vapes.
Yeah.
And suddenly it was an outdoor area, and I'll tell you. Suddenly at our table we had 2 extra guests, 2 cops, and I was like, oh, and it was as if your dad had just showed up because he was like, gentlemen, and I was like, oh, who this stuff? And do you guys want to add another $2,000 over dollars to your bill in terms of a fine?
Oh,
He was. I actually wanted him to talk more, you know. I really wanted him to talk more. He was like, gentlemen, do you want to add another $2,000 over dollars to your bill in terms of a fine? I was like, wow, la. Allama, such a nice guy. I feel like I want to give him my money already. Tell you what, you guys seem like nice fellas. What I suggest, you're young, I don't want to give you trouble. I'm just going to say one thing. Whatever that's not supposed to be at this table, you just make sure you go right now and throw it in the dumpster over there.
oh, wait, it's actually illegal? No, okay, but I had Singaporean, like I had a Singaporean friend, and he said that you can vape indoors, but this one is different now.
Because we are at a bar.
Oh shit.
We are at a bar in a public place, outdoors, in outdoor seating. So the bars are lined up right alongside the street, and the tables are all outside on high chairs. So the cops just walk up and down to make sure that there are no fights, there are no conflicts, there are no issues, all of that, and they do it in such a nice way. And he literally said, whatever is not supposed to be at this table, just make sure you go dump it in that dumpster while I'm here, and you won't have a problem with me today. That's it. I tell you, it took me a while to process what had happened. Right? And then he gave us like the most fatherly advice I've heard in my life. I've not even heard it from my own dad. Like, I understand you guys are young, you guys are drinking. Just make sure you keep it to a limit. Make sure you're not driving. If you've got your car, get a friend to come and pick you up. If not, take a grab taxi. Just go home. Make sure no fights. If you've got women with you, take care of them. Make sure they reach home. I was like, bro, wanna hug you right now, lah. Like,
Oh no, my dad would
Right?
actually my dad would actually never say this to me because I was actually a fucking I was actually like single as fuck. Like
So-
no, my dad could actually
so
see
this
how
is-
single
so
I am.
this is the
My dad
funny
would actually
thing.
never say all this because
This-
it was no point.
this was the funniest thing, right? So I think we had finished I think there was 7 of us. We had finished 5 beer towers already.
Oh my god.
So we were quite sloshed even though we didn't realize it.
Yeah.
So whatever he said,
Yeah.
it's like I'm registering what he said about 5 business days later. Right? One of the guys was actually in the washroom, so he didn't see any of this happening.
Yeah.
He came back, he looked at the table like, hey, where are the vapes? And I just looked at him and like, bro, God just came, took it and went, man. And he's like, huh, what? I was so tipsy, I still remember. I'm like, because I said that because the guy's name
Yeah.
was Ganesh.
Yeah.
So like Ganesh is a Hindu god,
Yeah.
right? So and all the guys just started laughing. They understood what I meant. We're all like of Indian origin or Sri Lankan, and they're like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "No, there was this cop. He came. I think that was the most nicest police experience I've had in my life. And while I explained to him, I had this urge saying, bro, I actually want to go find him and say thank you. Literally, I took another drunk friend who was so frustrated, like, Alama. And I made him walk up and down the street with me looking for that cop. Because I wanted to go tell him, dude.
Was this when like you're drunk or what?
Yeah.
Oh.
Piss drunk. I said tipsy before, I was lying. He got it out of me. Not drunk right now. And
But you wish you were. No,
I see Japanese whiskey right here.
Can't touch this.
So, never say never. Literally got my friend to walk up and down the street with me looking for this cop. And he's like, are you done yet? I was like, I can't find him. I came back, like, I can't find him anywhere. But it was funny, like, it sounds stupid because obviously we were drunk. But in that moment, I was like, that was such a refreshing experience to be spoken to.
Were there like
by-
no cops like this in Sri Lanka? Like,
Fuck no.
Like, are all cops like assholes in Sri
No,
Lanka?
it's changing. Like what you said about Malaysia 10 years
Yeah.
ago is different to what the
Oh no,
experience I have now.
cops are like corrupted assholes, you know,
Right?
back then.
So it's changing. And even now they're a lot more respectful, but this was like a luxury experience. I never expected such a deep
Yeah.
quality conversation with a cop
Yeah.
while I'm pissed drunk on so many beers. I don't know. So this has been, so like I said,
I think you looked young, you know.
do I? Okay. Don't.
You want to let them know like how old you are?
No. I think, what is it?
Or if your hand's aching, then you can just switch hands.
I think, what am I, 8 years older than you? Let's not go into age. Shush.
Guys, I'm 21. Do your math.
Thanks, dude. Moving on.
Damn. I'm sorry.
Moving on.
I'm sorry, man.
Moving on.
Yeah. Bro, I did not come. Bro, I did not invite you to do episode 2 with me just to shit on how old you are. Okay, I really did not. I swear. Okay.
maybe that wasn't your intention. That was the
But the
effect.
next two guests I have are actually actually my two younger brothers that I'm inviting.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you're actually the oldest guest I have thus far.
Oldest out of 2 episodes, I think I can live with that. So let's make sure you call your mom. Next.
Yeah. No, I'm actually planning
Maybe
to have.
maybe a random grandparent's cousin
Yeah.
in
No, no, no,
somewhere.
no, no, no. You will not. Okay, this is my promise. You will not be the oldest person on Bro Talk. Okay, in the history of Bro Talk, you will not be the oldest person.
But then you'd have to change it to what? Uncle Talk.
No, you nah, 28 is not old.
Moving on.
Okay, moving on. Yeah, so like you're working and studying at the same time, and it seems like you're, dare I say, if you don't mind me saying, like you're struggling to balance both lives.
Ah, the question I pondered on for ages.
Why is it still a struggle to balance both lives?
If it's always a struggle to balance both lives,
Why?
because they are two very independent parts.
I get the working part because you
The
need
end
to.
of the day, you have made a commitment on one end
Another
to
on the
study
other.
and a different commitment on the other end. And those two parts have no obligation
To one.
to coexist with
Yeah.
each other. They have absolutely no obligation. Like, if you bought a Mercedes and a BMW, both those brands don't give a shit that you bought the other one. They're not going to come and give you after sales service for the other car. Right? Same thing. At the end of the day, they have no reason to coexist. Ideally, they shouldn't. But today, if you look at it, a lot of people work and study at the same time. A lot of people. And it's become second nature.
Yeah.
So much so that I know a lot of people who go straight to work after school and then figure out what they want to do first
Yeah.
and then top themselves up with a degree while they're working.
But
We
like,
have lecturers who are doing their PhDs.
no, but that's
Right.
different though.
So it's still the same. It's
Like-
still the same. The struggle is still the same. The thing is, no matter how well, I don't know if you've seen my monthly calendar.
I haven't.
Every deadline at work and at studies is mapped out. But you never know when something comes, cracks an egg in the middle of that calendar and walks away. And suddenly you have some emergency or something like this or something like that. Something that you couldn't avoid. Could be something at work, could be something in your personal life. Something that's disruptive, something that requires your immediate attention. And then maybe you had a track on things. Suddenly, you lose track. And it doesn't have to be something major. Even in a given week, you can face any number of challenges. Hell, you could just be burnt out and say, I don't want to do anything this week. You can procrastinate. And then 7 days later, you're like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. But it's tough. And I've spoken to so many colleagues who have done this, and not a single one of them has ever had a smooth ride. But they are choosing to do it because they find it necessary and because they've committed to do it. So, at the end of the day, it's a choice, and it's a very conscious choice. Is it easy? Absolutely not. Is it necessary? Yes.
But okay, going back to what you said, like both can't coexist clearly, like your work and
No, I said both have absolutely no reason to coexist.
But-
They don't need to help you with whatever you're dealing with on the other end. right?
But why can't you just put your head down and just focus on one of it?
Every person has a different set of circumstances that's thrown at them. And that's it. So it's different for each person. At the end of the day, most people that you see who work and study at the same time do so, they work,
Because they want to survive,
yeah.
or they have to survive.
They're studying because
They're Asian.
they
No, it's real. No, it's true, guys. It's true. If you're studying, you're either no. If you're studying immediately after school, you're either Asian or, you're either Asian, you're either Asian. Simple as that.
I don't have the data to talk about that, but
Okay, every single every single person they have met in BAC either told you that they have studied right out of like high school or like whatever, or like they either at the maximum like a year, like a gap year. There's no way on earth that they have like studied for like a few years. Sorry, they have worked a few years, then only they only decide. Like, this is like, not to say a stereotype, but like it is a stereotype. Like, coming from an Asian household, it's a system, where you're born into an Asian family. Your parents are expected of you to do this and that. Where you study, they expect you to be great in your studies, and after that, immediately go to college, be great in your college. Sorry, voice crack. Be great in your college, and after that, go straight to work. You are expected to earn this amount of money and all. It's a system, that you have to follow. It's the
It's a
quote
system
unquote
that's-
Asian. This is the quote unquote Asian culture.
it's a system that's changing.
I hope it's changing, because
It is.
I'm still, in a way, I'm still kind of a part of it. My parents.
Yeah, and that's okay.
You like. Like, bro, you have no clue how many fights it took for my parents to kind of get around of what I need, or like what I have to be in life as a person. Like, as you said, like, it's changing, but parents don't know that, because, as you say, it goes back generations. It goes back to their whole damn heritage.
So this is something that's not going to be understood for a few generations to come.
Yeah.
If
Unless you like actually
No, but-
verbally beat it out of your parents.
No,
Like,
no.
I had.
you
I
need
have
to you need to understand. Our parents' generation had it easy.
No, not all.
Let me tell you why. If you went back 50 years and looked at the education system and what they had to choose in terms of occupation, it was very simple.
Yes.
The educated class in any society had to look at doctor, lawyer, engineer.
Yes.
If you're educated, you need to educate yourself in only any of these three areas,
Yes. Specifically.
unless you're a teacher.
Yeah.
But these are the three occupations: doctor, lawyer, engineer. They didn't have to choose anything else. And
Yeah.
from childhood, they were conditioned. You need to be in any one of these three professions to be respected in society. That's it. It was very straightforward. They only needed to choose one out of three. You fast forward 50 years to where we are today. You can be anything and everything you want in the world. Any little thing that you do can be turned into a business or a job.
Yeah.
Right. Here's the challenge. When you have too many options to choose from, you go into very hectic analysis paralysis. Right? This is new for our parents. They never had to deal with this. They had a very fixed system
Yes, that we are inquired to follow.
that we are breaking,
Or no,
and they
we're still trying to break.
that we have broken already. You need to understand this. And parents are still trying to cope. They are nervous. They are conditioned to believe that this is what you need to be in order to be successful in life. At the end of the day, now we do have too many options. At the end of the day, the options are so vast, even you yourself, even though you say, this is what in my heart I know what I want to do,
Yes.
you have no idea how it's going to turn out. You don't know until you actually grind, get through, put in the late hours, and come out the other end of the tunnel. But until then, everyone around you is nervous. Everyone around you is like, he's doing something that I have no idea whether it'll work or not. At least, if he was any of the standard things that he wanted him to be, we know that these are the milestones he needs to achieve. He needs to achieve. And we can help him get there. Here, we have no idea whether this ends in success or failure. We don't know what the milestone. Everything is new. And even he has no clue. He has to figure it out along the way. This was not part of their system growing up. It's very new. So I think we do need to give them the benefit of the doubt that they're just nervous, anxious, and worried. And it's not to control us. It's more to say, look, we don't know if this is what's going to turn out to be best. At the end of the day, for them, they want us to be settled by the time we hit that quarter century.
Yeah.
Right? Meaning, you finish, you graduate before you're 25, you find a steady job, you climb the ladder.
Yeah.
Not even half the people in our generation is doing that today.
Yeah.
They're looking at ways to be at the very top at the very beginning.
Exactly.
Right? That's something that's very new. That's something that's very new. Barriers are broken, norms are broken. Everything today is achievable. But you don't know until you reach that pedestal. And until then, it's filled with uncertainty. You need to understand where that anxiety comes from, is what I think. And how can we...
Bro, you should study psychology, man. What the fuck? Yeah, you understand this Asian culture better than I do, man.
you do realize Sri Lanka is part of Asia, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I think you can't blame me for actually knowing Asian culture.
No, I mean, I mean, of course you do, but like the way you like explain it and like shape it to your understanding is like, I mean, like, I get what you're saying, but like, not many people out there who are in our demographic, our age group, gets it. You know, they feel like they are still controlled. They feel like they are still oppressed in their family to like be this, be that.
Dude,
you know?
wake up. I'm 29 years old. Oh, fuck. I still feel oppressed.
In your family.
Yeah. They still want what's best for me. Look at me. Anyone who's watching in their head is going to be like, he's 8 years older than him. Oh, he's still studying. What are they doing in the same batch? What do you think that means? I'm one of those people who started working straight out of school. What do you think my parents thought about that?
Disappointment.
You think they gave me a pat on the back and said, fantastic? Fuck no. My house has been anxious for 10 plus years while I've had my ups and downs, which anyone in life is going to have. But it's unorthodox, it's different. I chose to study because right after COVID, right after Sri Lanka's entire economy crashed, I felt like maybe it's a good time for me to take a pause and force myself to learn. It was new. It aligned with what my parents wanted for more than 10 years. It finally aligned 10 years later. But I did it for my own reasons.
Not theirs.
No,
But that's the difference.
right?
People, our generation is
Those
doing
10
it for
years
their reasons.
have not been easy.
Nothing's easy.
Exactly. Those 10 years have not been easy. Right? What I mean to say is that I understand this today after dealing with everything you're saying for more than 10 years. You're 21 now? You've
Yes.
been dealing with it for 3 years? I'm 29 now. How long have I been dealing with it for? 11 years. Experience matters. And I've come to understand a lot of things from their perspective. At the end of the day, you think I want my dad to be 74 years old and still worried about my date of graduation? No. You know what I want to do? I want my kids out of the house when I'm 55.
Oh, you actually believe in the kids moving out shit?
Not in them moving out. I don't think I will have it in me to actually deal with the concepts of college and university and graduation of my kids and then settling them down in life after I'm 60. I think I'll be a psycho by then.
I mean, you already look like one walking around in BAC though.
Takes one to know one.
No, yeah. I mean, I not to say I'm not one. I'm really like almost one. Yeah.
I know. But at the end of the day, like you said, it is nice to have freedom of thought and freedom of expression. I'm
Yes.
not denying it.
Yes.
But, and I'm going to sound a hell of a lot older than I am when I'm saying this,
Mm.
the experience that someone older than you gives you matters.
Agree.
Because they've been through what you're going through right now. But in a different way. Like I said, what our parents went through
It's totally different than what we're
30
going
years
through.
ago is very different to what we're going through right now. But it is somewhat similar in terms of going through life of an education and trying to establish yourself. Right? It's not easy. And it's not easy for them to sit on the sidelines and watch while we are trying to figure it out. Quote. It's not easy for them. They believed in, oh, our parents figured it out for us and we just did it. Here we are. But for them, they thought they figured it out, but you're like, no, I'm going to figure this out for myself. And they can see that you have no idea what you're going to do. And this is not what they had figured out. It's mismatch plus mismatch. It makes them nervous. Whereas for us, we are okay with that uncertainty. We're okay to say, I'm going to get down in the grind and do this. And that's okay. I don't care that I don't know what's going to happen in 1 year. We are the only crackpot generation that's thinking like this, you know. I'm definitely telling you that we're crackpots.
Yeah.
Because we're okay with not knowing where the hell we're going to be in life 1 year from today, 5 years from today, 10 years. We are the first of a long line of crackpots that's just come into the picture. This is new for our parents,
And it will continue to be.
right? For them, they had their life mapped out for the next 50 years. Wherever it derailed, they did their best to bring it back. Or at least they accepted, okay, it's derailed and it's going in this new direction. And they figured out the next 50 years. A new plan. For us, it's like, live life a day at a time. Paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
That's it. And we find this normal. They don't. So, you can understand where the conflict is between us and them.
So, that's it. Anything else?
I guess.
So that's it to episode 2. Pleasure having you, man.
Thank you for having me.
We'll be releasing this next Friday. I think I will want to release every episode on Fridays. Episode 1 will be coming out Saturday, which is 2 days from now.
Okay.
So yeah, thanks a lot, man. So yeah, guys, tune in. See you soon.